Hello everyone. So today I am back with another topic, Jupiter and its moons. So we know many things about Jupiter. So just to catch up with that, let's see what is Jupiter. Jupiter, the fifth planet of our solar system and the largest one of all is Jupiter. It is a gas giant with bands of brown, yellow and white. Its atmosphere is made up of hydrogen and helium gas just like our sun. If it was much more massive, it could become a star. That means if it was like much bigger than its present size, it would have been just like a second sun in the solar system. So now we know this part about Jupiter. Now let's see what else we know about Jupiter from this fact file. Name of the planet is Jupiter. Average distance from the sun 778 million kilometers. 448 million miles only, I have to tell you guys. So number of known moons, so this is the number of known moons, not the total number of moons, because we still don't know how many moons are there in this gas giant. So currently we know only about 67 moons. Average temperature of Jupiter is between minus 145 degrees Celsius minus 145 degrees Celsius to 24,000 degrees Celsius. If we take it in Fahrenheit, it is like minus 234 degree Fahrenheit to 43,000 degree Fahrenheit. So continuing, we know that the Jupiter is so big and has many characteristics, in which the most famous feature of it is the Great Red Spot. One of the Jupiter's most famous features is the Great Red Spot. It is a huge storm, more bigger than the 3 times size of Earth, that has been raging for hundreds of years. This Great Red Spot is a giant swirling storm that can be seen on the surface of Jupiter. As the storm moves, it swallows up other storms. So this red spot has been a huge storm ever since Jupiter existed, and it is still raging and has not stopped. It is swallowing the other storms in Jupiter. So continuing, Juno mission. So we know many things about Jupiter, but how did we see from telescopes and all? But what about spacecrafts? So NASA's Juno spacecraft is helping scientists to understand how Jupiter formed. It is orbiting closer to the gas giant than any spacecraft has been. So we can see the Juno spacecraft image on our right side. Yes guys, that is Jupiter's Juno spacecraft. So let's go for other missions. The probe launched to Jupiter. The space probe is a spacecraft that no one on board. It flies through space gathering information and sending it back to Earth. Galileo space probe is one of them. Galileo space probe was launched in 1989. It arrived at Jupiter in 1995. So basically it took some years for it to reach, and for 8 years it has been sending back exciting information of Jupiter and its moon. Yes guys, Galileo was space probe because of which we know the number of moons currently. So moving on, Galileo space probe traveled 2.8 billion miles, that is like 4.5 billion kilometers in total. In 1995, the Galileo space probe released this smaller probe and sent it towards Jupiter. You can see the image of Galileo space probe over here. So over this part is this tiny space probe which was launched towards Jupiter. So we know that every planet have, not every planet basically, it's actually Saturn or the gas giant, you can tell. Saturn, the most famous gas giant for its ring, is not only the gas giant with rings, even Jupiter has rings. Jupiter has 3 thin rings called the Jovian rings. They are mostly made of dust and can only be seen when viewed from behind Jupiter when they are lit up by the sun. So basically you can see a X-ray image type on the left side and a regular described diagram formation of the rings on the right side. So these are the rings of Jupiter. A cosmic vacuum. The cosmic vacuum. So, did you know Jupiter acts like a cosmic vacuum cleaner by sucking up most of the dangerous asteroids? So basically, most of the asteroids which can destroy planets is sucked up by Jupiter, more like our usual vacuum cleaners. So, moons of Jupiter. Jupiter has more than 100 moons, out of which only 67 moons are known, as I said. The Jupiter has 4 large moons that are Io, Europa, Ganymede and Callisto. It's not Lo, it's Io. These moons are known because it was discovered by Galileo Galilei, who discovered them in 1610. Yes guys, the 4 moons that was discovered was in 1610 by Galileo Galilei, and that's why the probe Galileo is named. They are also called as Galilean moons. Galilean moons, that's the name given to these 4 moons. Going ahead, Io. Io is one of the Galilean moons which is having similar size as Earth's moon. So, Io has more than hundreds of active volcanoes. The volcanoes' eruptions have turned its surface yellow-orange, as you can see in the video. Not in the video, actually, it's in the photo. So, this is Io, one of the Galilean moons. So, Europa, the next one. It's not Europe, it's Europa. So, Europa is the second Galilean moon. Is the smallest among the 4 moons. So, just you can remember, if you want to remember the name, just remember Europe. Yeah, but at the end, just remember to remove the E and put A over there. It is the smallest among the 4 moons. On the surface, there is water, ice. Underneath, scientists believe there is an ocean. Ocean of what? Water. Okay, so basically, as you can see the image, Europa actually looks like a small cracked shell among the 4. So, let's move on to Ganymede, the largest moon in our solar system. Ganymede is even bigger than planet Mercury. It's made up of rock and ice. So you can see the image of Ganymede over here. This is the largest one. Finally, going to the last and final Galilean moon is Callisto. Callisto is the most cratered object in the solar system. It has more than any object in the whole solar system having numbers of craters. As you can see, it looks very bright and beautiful, more like a bright city, but it's actually numbers and numbers of craters. So this is all for today guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you liked the video.